just briefly, some of you may have seen there was a flap when Ted Cruz was interviewed by Tucker Carlson, and he was challenged about U.S. support for Israel, and he cited the Bible.
Growing up in Sunday school, I was taught from the Bible, those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed. And from my perspective, I want to be on the blessing side of things.
Of those who bless the government of Israel?
Those who bless Israel is what it says. It doesn't say the government of it, it says the nation of Israel. So that's in the Bible. As a Christian, I believe that.
Where is that?
I can find it to you. I don't have the scripture off the tip of my... You pull out the phone and use the Google.
It's in Genesis. But so you're quoting a Bible phrase. You don't have context for it. And you don't know where in the Bible it is, but that's like your theology? I'm confused. What does that even mean?
Tucker.
I'm a Christian. I want to know what you're talking about.
Okay.
There are 3 passages in the Bible that evangelical Christians tend to cite. And the first one is this in Genesis 12. So this is God is speaking to Abraham and saying, I'm going to make you the father, the progenitor of a great nation, right? So go into this land, right? I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee and make thy name great. Thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee and curse them that curse thee. And that specifically is the line that Ted Cruz cited, right? You will be blessed. You will have success, freedom, safety, prosperity if you support Israel. That's how they understand it. And as Tucker points out, you're equating the tribe of Abraham in the Bible that was thousands of years ago. And it's not even clear exactly what that passage is referring to. You're equating that to this modern nation state of Israel. And this shows, I think, how fundamentally Israel doesn't really function as just a secular nation state. Israel functions as a religious symbol, right? And supporting Israel is a religious mission, right? So in this worldview, Dwight Eisenhower is right? That the religious dimension cannot be untangled from the secular political dimension. Okay, now who embraces this? A lot of evangelicals, right? That's the biggest base of Zionism in America. Many Jews too. Many Jews, most American Jews are Zionist, not all, as we know.
What are the stats now? When you break it down by age, do we know?
I'm sure it's shifting rapidly.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Right. And that's part of why we're having this conversation, is because this whole system we're talking about is coming apart at the seams as we speak.
That's a shift.
Yeah. This is the shift, right? Yeah. Now, there's another factor here, which is that a religious community that doesn't really embrace this ideology much at all is Catholics. Okay. Many American Catholics are Zionist, right? But even still, it's a much more skeptical relationship, right? It's much more skeptical. It's much more fraught. And I would argue that's the reason for that is because the Roman Catholic Church, the modern Roman Catholic Church, also has its own globalist worldview.
Ah, interesting.
And Zionism is not.
They're going to say because they're anti-Semitic. I'm just kidding.
Well, some are, many aren't. Right? Yeah. But no. So modern Catholic teachings are very much influenced, for one thing, by the older Jesuit worldview. And the last Pope, Francis, was a Jesuit. Also by Vatican II, right? This ecumenical council of the Catholic Church that was held in the 1960s. And among the things that Vatican II concluded or taught was that there is some truth in other religions, right? So for one thing, they condemned anti-Semitism.
That is huge. When was this?
This was in the 60s, and they came out with this statement in 1965. So they condemned anti-Semitism. They condemned the idea that the Jews were responsible for killing Christ.
It was Pontius. It was just Pontius. It was a Roman.
Yeah, well, and that's what historians would say, right? It was a Roman decision. They were pushed into it a lot because there was this huge stigma from the Holocaust, right? And this huge feeling that the Catholic Church was partly responsible for the Holocaust. So they really had to make changes in their teachings. And they went further and made statements about other faiths in general. As you can see here, these other faiths often reflect a ray of truth which enlightens all men. So they're not saying other religions are equally true, but they're saying maybe they got bits of it, right? maybe this Christian truth is sometimes reflected back through other faiths, right? So this is a very nuanced kind of position. And you can see, I thought about making a chart, but I didn't really have time. But you can see this sort of post-Vatican II Catholic worldview where the Catholic Church, the Roman Catholic Church is at the center, right? And the Vatican is at the heart of it. But then there are other Catholic churches, the Armenian Gregorian Church, other Catholic churches that are in communion with them. Then there are other Christian churches, which Vatican II holds to be legitimate Christian churches, Protestant, Eastern Orthodox. Then there's Jews. Jews have the covenant with God. Jews are the chosen people. They're not beyond the pale either. And Islam. And the Pope, who was Pope by this time, was Paul VI. He made a statement saying, there's truth in Islam too. And if I had been born Muslim, I would be a faithful Muslim, which, was kind of surprising coming from the Pope. But what you have is this very complicated, multi-layered world picture where there's sort of the Roman Catholic Church is like at the center, the most holy, but then there's good things out there too, right? In kind of succeeding circles, right? And Jews are part of this scheme. Zionism doesn't really factor in, right? Jews matter because of their relationship to God through the Bible and the covenant with God. It's not like an ethno-national group that needs a nation. That's a very American, and I would say American Protestant way of thinking, right? Doesn't quite compute in this Catholic worldview. So there's a very different orientation there, right? And I looked into this and wanted to talk about it partly because of recent events involving the American right wing, which we'll get to. I'll just comment on that last. But I just made a little chart here comparing these different globalisms, right? So to the liberal international view, Israel is crucial, right? Israel is the beachhead of this liberal international civilization, right? And this Judeo-Christian concept underpins it, right? To the modern Catholic worldview, not so clear, right? Where is it all going? What's the destination? Unclear, right? Israel not central. This is all in play, I think, and important, and came into view because of Charlie Kirk. So I mentioned earlier, I would bring up Charlie Kirk. This might be a live wire. I'm not going to make any comment about who did or did not kill Charlie Kirk. There's a suspect who's been charged and he's innocent till proven guilty. I'm not going to say anything more about that. But what we do know for a fact is that there was a serious break between Charlie Kirk and Israel.
Right.